in the cage and I'm ready to break out. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made of. Get in the game, your moment of fame, show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up. It's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up, I'm never go back down. Hand over my heart, I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd, so turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Welcome back to the LogitechG Challenge USA Regional Qualifiers powered by Beyond Entertainment. My name is Frank Bowen and I'm joined today by Luke Crane. Luke, how are you doing today, my man?
I am doing wonderfully well. My voice is all nice and prepared after Sugo. So yeah, feeling good. How are you doing today, Frank?
Oh, I'm marvelous, man. Ready to get into some more racing. But of course, let's break down the format real quick, just for anyone new joining us here today. So today, our racers are competing in the regional qualifier, where they are trying to earn their spot in our regional final. But racers today who also finish in the top 3 will be winning some cold, hard cash. Can't complain about that. $250 is going to be going to first place, $150 for second place, and $100 for third place. So once our 40 finalists are set from these regional qualifiers, only one PC racer and one PS4 racer will advance from that regional final to the global final. But the winners of that regional final are also going to be receiving prizes. They're going to be getting $1,000, a LogitechG product bundle worth $800 in prizes, and a travel package. They're paying your way to the LogitechG Challenge Global Final, where they're going to face off against all their tough competition from areas like Europe, Asia Pacific, and Latin America. From that point on, we're going to crown one winner as the G Challenge champion. And the winnings don't stop there. That winner is then going to earn their invitation to compete in the finals of the McLaren Shadow Project. So, the sim racing esports scene is blowing up, and just love being part of it here.
Yeah, well, we've got a competition here that not only do you get the chance to get a job out of it at the end of the day, but at every single stage you have an opportunity to earn money. There are some major competitions out there that boast to be the very best in the world, but they're not paying their drivers. These guys have got the opportunity to earn money, and I think that is absolutely key to move forward in this sim racing game. So, I'm very much looking forward to this. It's our 6th round already, Frank.
Yeah.
And, we're back in Asia once again.
Yeah, so drivers today are going to be racing in the 2016 McLaren 650S GT3 on the Fuji Speedway. Our drivers are getting ready right now, but Luke, tell me a little bit about today's track.
Fuji. I hate this place, but it doesn't matter about me. I'm commentating. It does produce some really, really epic racing. But it's one of those tracks where you need to get in the front very early around this circuit, and you need to try and make a gap on the first lap. The first lap is absolutely key here because there is a huge, long start-finish straight, over 1 kilometer long. And if you can get yourself a nice little gap and out of the slipstream, you can get all the hard work done very, very early here. But if you don't, there's every opportunity that you will get caught. Go cockpit cam, and you can see exactly here the straight line. It's, again, over 1 kilometer long. It is a huge, huge straight here. But sector 3 is key. Sector 3 is like 4 or 5 unorthodox corners. So you need to make sure that you do, if you are behind people, you need to make sure that you do stay within that sort of half a second range so you can pounce on this long straight here. But also, we've got turn number 1, which is a off-camber hairpin here, and it can make for very, very interesting potential opportunities for overtaking, but I think we're going to see a few incidents here today, Frank.
Yeah, that's something we saw, and we're watching Sauce going to take his laps right now. We saw that during PS4 on the last qualifier, where Sauce got ahead of Smashing Apex on PS4, that's THR Operator on PC, and unfortunately crashed early on. But that was, I think, the first time we've ever seen someone, at least momentarily, out in first place besides him. So while we mentioned Sauce, Luke, do you want to sort of take it away and introduce all of our PS4 drivers today?
Absolutely. Let's get the drivers up on screen, and ladies and gentlemen, we've got a full house here on PlayStation 4. First up then is Little Regret 265, back again, Blake Phillips from the United States of America. He is in the, unlucky for some, hopefully not for him, number 13. Next up then is Guilherme. He is in from the United States of America. Hopefully sorted out his connection as from last or 2 weeks ago in the number 6. And then we've got Smashing Apex, who just, well, he's making a full-time living from this competition at this point. Will anyone be able to stop the Teen Highlands racing driver? McToasty 13, and in his second race here in that number 99 red livery from the United States of America. Airstrike 1989, and one of the Airstrike brothers from the United States is in the number 58. Did get then Donald Federline. He is from the United States of America, and he is in the orange number 59 livery here. Lots of 59s in the McLaren 650S, that's for sure. Source, by the way, just gone provisionally on pole, 138.7. And Source is appropriately on screen as well. He's in the number 2 Vodafone livery. We've then got Mr. Min Vikings back once again. He is in from the United States of America. He is in the number 11 Objective livery. The next number 59 then is Dub Racing 10 JW. He is from the United States of America. Airstrike 1 then Tony from the United States of America. He's the second brother of the Airstrikes. And then we've got Cat Lady 10,000. We've got a couple of fans of Cat Lady in the chat, and Cat Lady is actually is Slippy's dad. Ironically, the Bull City then Todd Lewis from the United States of America. He's in the number 9 K-Pax livery. Greenwood 2384, then our second new driver here. He is from Canada in the number 6. We've then got Rockabilly Outlaw. He is in the number 9 livery. The K-Pax, he's from the United States of America as well. We've then got Fat Man, number 7 from the United States of America as well. He's in the white livery there with the orange trim, number 8 by the looks of things. Next up then is number 37. It's Two Tone Tommy from Canada. And there you go, that is all the drivers, but you know, there may be a few new faces there, Frank, but look at this, a very, very familiar name, Smashing Apex on pole position.
Yeah, no surprises there. You know, we've seen him dominate week after week. The first couple weeks just on PC, but then of course he switched over to PS4 because, like you mentioned, there's those prize pools on the line. First, second, and third place all win cash, which with each one of these qualifiers, and then of course the qualifying positions, if you've already qualified, it moves on to another driver. You can't qualify more than once. That'd be crazy. But Smashing Apex, yeah, dominating on both platforms now. Sauce, though, has been in some contention over the weeks. Unfortunately, during qualifier number 5, he made an early exit and kind of wrecked his car and had to withdraw from that race. So it'll be interesting to see if we see more out of him today, but it's always cool to see those new faces that kind of pop up week after week as word gets out. So yeah, guys, if you're new to tuning in, be sure to spread the word. And of course, you can sign up yourself to compete at actualvision.com/GChallengeUSA. That's where you can find all the information on the competition with the Logitech G Challenge USA division. This is also the first year that we're running this, so it's really exciting stuff, kind of being on the cutting edge of a new scene and a really emergent one with racing esports as it sort of develops. So guys, if you want to come along for the ride, be sure to check that website out. And of course, you can also follow at Team Beyond Net for all those tweets and updates and links and things like that. But yeah, if anyone is new tuning in, because I know we're on Twitch here today. What's up, Twitch audience? Kind of talk to us a little bit about what's going on right now. I understand it's a time trial. I better by now. It's week 6 after all. But kind of talk us through a little bit about what's going on and how that kind of positioning plays a factor into the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So for anyone that's new to racing, this is a qualifying period. They have 10 minutes. They can have as many laps as they can fit into that 10 minutes. And the quickest driver with a 1-lap time will be at the front of the grid. So they'll start in first position, and it goes all the way down to 16th spot, which is Cat Lady at the moment, unfortunately down in 16th position, yet to put a time in. So yeah, it's vital that you get up into the lead or get up to near the front, but with a long straight here down into turn number 1, a long old jaunt it is. There's every opportunity that you could be slipstream there. So I don't know, I reckon 2nd, 3rd or 4th, they you know, anywhere in the top 4. Of course, you just want to qualify pole. It makes no sense to be any lower than that. But yeah, I'm just getting a bit too meticulous.
If you ain't first, you're last, right? I think I learned that from a racing movie. Yeah.
Yeah, second's the first loser and all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's what happens basically. The quickest goes at the front end of the grid, and then the slowest is at the back. How are you all doing on Twitch today? It's the first time we've been on Twitch for the Logitech G Challenge USA. And if you are new to sim racing, or if you just want to get yourself involved in the chat, let us know where you're from. And also, if you've got any particular favorites in this race, let us know who's going to win today's G Challenge on PlayStation 4, and of course, our second race, which is on PC.
Yeah, and another thing too, if you're kind of just tuning in now for the first time and you want a little backstory, we kind of do a play of the race that recaps different exciting moments that happen, and you can get familiar with some of our drivers. We've seen some of these people, again and again, week after week, so we're a little more familiar with them. But again, you can check out at Team Beyond Net. We kind of post videos, recaps, little driver spotlights, things like that. So definitely worth checking out if you're a sim racing or just racing in general fan, and you can kind of get to know some of these guys as they come up in that USA division. One thing to mention too is the PS4 qualifier number 5, the final results from the last time. I'll go over those real quick so you guys at home are familiar. THR Operator, big shock, came in first. We saw X-Wolf though come in second, and then Airstrike 1, not only did he qualify for the first time, but he was also in that third place money position. His brother then finished right underneath him in fourth, and the second qualifying spot went to Spec VO2. So your two qualifiers from qualifier number 5 were Airstrike 1 and Spec VO2. And kind of how it works is, say you qualify during, let's say, week number 1. Well, for the rest of the weeks, you can still compete, you can still enter the races, you can still shoot for those money positions, but you can't qualify again. So that spot would go to somebody else. So if you guys are interested in competing, definitely sign up, because these spots are going quick. But we still have a couple more races left. So this is number 6. There's going to be 7 and 8. So still 2 more races, potentially 4, depending on your platform, to qualify and perhaps make it to that regional final.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an opportunity for everybody here. Like I keep saying, you don't know how good you are until you put yourself up against the best. And starting to see some people come through the system we've got here that were maybe not necessarily the quickest to start off with, but over the course of the weeks gained a lot more experience. And well, you can see now Source up to P2, and that is a clear factor of him being, getting quicker and quicker and quicker, less than a second off of the pace of smashing Apex. And look at this Gilham then. Last week was nowhere near the front really, but he's P3 right now. Little regret, we've seen him perform very well this championship, but again, he's up there. McToasty, a second event with us, is up to P5. Rockabilly Outlaw, who was nowhere near over the last couple of weeks, and sometimes 4 or 5 seconds off the pace, finds himself in a P6, so he's improving every single week. And actually, he's ahead of people who've already qualified for the regional finals. Airstrike and Airstrike 1 both already through. And look at this then, Cat Lady, first time out here, and P8. So there's opportunities here for people, and well, Gilherm and I think Cat Lady, the only 2 in the top 10 maybe right now, or top 9 at the very least, who have not already qualified.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on going forward as well, because new faces, it's always exciting to not only just see new players out on the track, but I mean, when they're ahead of people we've seen week after week, you always want to see how they kind of stack up against the rest of the competition. So yeah, this is probably going to be another exciting race. They keep getting more exciting sort of week after week, so we'll see what we have in store today.
Absolutely. Well, we've had qualifying over and done with here. We've got a 20-minute time race and a times 25 time progression. That means they will go day into night, and the track conditions will indeed change to suit that. That means the track temperature will indeed get lower, and there'll be less grip near the end of the race. But Smashing Apex, as per usual, is P1. Source is in P2. Little Gret P3. Gilham then is in P4. McToasty P5. Rockabilly Outlaw P6. Airstrike, first of the Airstrike brothers, in P7, and actually joined on the 4th row there is Airstrike 1. So they are genuinely brothers. Cat Lady 10,000, first ever race here, qualifies in the top 10, so GG's there. Mr. Mid Vikings in 10th. Then we've got Dub Racing in 11th. Greenwood is in 12th. Two-Tone Tommy in 13th, 14th for the Bull City, and then Did Give down in 15th spot with Fat Man down in 16th position. This race time here, Frank, we're at Fuji, we're still in Asia, and well, can anyone beat Smashing Apex?
Saw certainly made a run at it last time, but I mean, he's just been so dominant. It's basically, you'd be a fool for betting against him, is what I would say. If you're putting money on one driver to come in first, you're putting it on Smashing Apex. But like you mentioned, we've seen a lot of these drivers improve week after week, so you never know what could happen. It's going to be tough to beat, but maybe one of these drivers has it in them this week. We'll just have to see. This is why you guys tune in. Now, smashing Apex, we were all in favor, but maybe we should start turning him into the villain on stream here and just, have everyone start to root against him just so that he'll be dethroned at least 1 week, right?
Well, it's come close. People are getting faster and faster each week, so it's not as easy as it was when he first started in this championship. So, again, I think we're going to see him get beat at least once this season, but whether it be today or not, we're not too sure. Slippy is definitely one of the best kind of viewers here. Cat Lady in 9th. Cats have 9 lives. Makes sense. It does make sense there. Yeah, absolutely, and obviously done that on purpose. But unfortunately, it looks like Cat Lady has also left the session, so no longer in 9th.
Ran out of lives. Yeah.
Yeah, they've pressed the return to race central button instead of just letting it go into the race, unfortunately. But anyway, Smashing Apex is on pole. Source is in second, and we had this at Monza 4 weeks ago. Can Source go up the inside and get into the lead? We are off, Dennis. Round number 6, qualifier number 6 of the LogitechG Challenge USA, and we're off down to turn number 1. I'll tell you what, Source has got an absolute flyer here. Can he get on the brakes late here to Smashing Apex and put the pressure on? Don't think he can. So there's a real late dive there from, looks like 8th position up to 4th. Really silly there, but actually does not cause any controversy. Smashing Apex leads then, Source second. Little regret up to P3. That is the money positions right now. Gilherm then is in P4. In P5 is Toasty, under a lot of pressure here from the Airstrike brothers. Airstrike 1 then looking for a move on the inside. McToasty's run wide there in the red car, and I think both Airstrikes are going to go through. There we go, McToasty. Once you hung out to dry there, it is very hard to get back onto the racing line. And actually, it's lost 2 positions to the Airstrike brothers here, but can Mr. Min Vikings get him as well? No, it's Dub Racing, so Dub Racing up into P7, but Toasty loses 3 spots there in, 3 corners? Very unfortunate there for him. Mr. Min Vikings then P9, and we've got Rockabilly Outlaw in P10 here, going down in towards the final sector. Not quite close enough to make any inroads, but Toasty then trying to get back involved in this little hunt. But look at this 3-way battle. It's the Airstrike brothers versus Gilherm. So let's go on board here with Airstrike 1989 and in behind Airstrike 1. And well, Gilherm, I told you about this final sector. It is so technically difficult, and if you get one corner wrong, it sets you up wrong for the next 3 or 4. So you can see Gilherm there under all sorts of pressure, but he's weathering the storm right now, Frank.
Yeah, and great stuff out of a new face. I know he was suffering with some connection issues earlier, but good to see he sorted that out, because he's definitely performing well out here on Fuji today. But I love seeing these tight little battles like we've seen even last qualifier.
This is what I told you about the slipstream. It's a long straight here, and you see Airstrike 1 has been forced to go around the outside here by Gilherm. They come down towards turn number 1 at the start of lap 2, and is he going to make it round the long way here? Gilherm tucks back in, and now he is the meat in an Airstrike sandwich. I've been waiting to say that all championship long. Well, Airstrike 1 makes it up into P4. Yeah,
great stuff. Gilherm definitely performing, and man, you're going to start making me hungry talking about sandwiches and everything this close to lunchtime out here. But love what we're seeing out of the racing today, man. Like we saw last time, those tight little packs, there's so many battles going on. We know Smashing Apex is going to be soaring out in first place, but there's so many tight little battles, these little maneuvers, everything that matters so much, and these little mistakes or these little advantages you can find are awesome.
Well, yeah, we say that there's a lot of good battling here. Well, the Bull City's battling against time right now in such a short format. Unfortunately, finds himself now in the pits here. Looks like Fat Man has made a bit of a mistake here. We've got Mr. Min Vikings down in 12th position then. Two-Tone Tommy in 11th in behind Greenwood. But look at this little battle then. This is again battling for 7th position. Dub Racing, who was involved in a battle for 5th on the first lap here, struggling here on lap number 2. Bit of a wide entrance there by Greenwood. Should be able to get a power nice and early here, but loses out to the 3 in front. Oh, there's a big mistake there. Big tank slapper in front by McToasty, the red car. And actually, to be fair, he's got a bloody good exit here. And now he's going to go around the long way here on Dub Racing. He will get the better exit. There's so many different lines here. And who's that off circuit then? In front there, that is Gilherm. Gilherm was battling for qualification, and he's found himself off track. He's building sandcastles then in the sand on the exit, and he's reset there. That is against the rules officially. Reset button should not be used, and he's now found himself back into 14th position, and that for me is race over there, Frank.
Yeah. Kind of heartbreaking. We've seen a couple of those heartbreak stories happen again and again on all these different tracks throughout the qualifiers. And hopefully he'll be back. You know, there's other opportunities. There's still 2 qualifiers left, but there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So I'm going to run down real quick, but interrupt me if something exciting happens. I'm just going to take a look at our previous qualifiers. So, of course, we've got Sauce, Zebra, Driver 13, Dark King 12, Little Regret, Airstrike 1989, X-Wolf, Force 1, Airstrike 1, Spec VO2 have all already qualified on PS4 previously, and then, of course, Smashing Apex out in first. So those are already, if you see those racers' names up towards the top, they've already qualified. So those positions kind of bump down. So drivers like Little Regret, and well, he's qualified, but things like McToasty and these other drivers are all battling for those qualifying positions. So while they might not be in 1, 2, or 3 in those money spots, they're still qualifying for the regional final on the line. So I mean, every qualifier, these drivers are racing their hearts out because they want to qualify, and if not, get in those money positions as well.
I can hear that hamster turning. I can hear you trying to figure out who's not qualified and who's
qualified.
Yeah,
I know, right? It is week 6, and I'm like, okay, let me get the fingers out, start counting. Okay.
Dub Racing's through, right? Correct? Is that good? So right now for me, Rockabilly Outlaw is our first qualifier, and in second qualifying position is Greenwood. But you can see right now, it's not quite as simple as that, because McToasty is right up the chuff pipe here of Greenwood. We've got Dub Racing again. Is that correct that Dub Racing is qualified? Oh, actually, tell you what, don't worry about that, because Dub Racing is under all sorts of pressure from Greenwood. Can Greenwood get the move done up the inside, lay on the brakes? And, well, he's going to cover him off nicely. And now McToasty trying to get through there as well. Not able to do so. And actually, look at this then. Dub Racing is back round the outside, has the inside line then for turn number 3. And can he retake the position? This is slowing them both down, side-by-side action. And round the outside he will go. And Greenwood, first race here with us this season. And actually, he's lost it back out again, because Dub Racing... he's not quite going to get it here, actually, and McToasty's going to go through. I thought that Dub Racing was going to keep hold of that spot, but in the end, he's going to lose 2 positions, and that is how quick it could go wrong here. But right now, we have got the 3 drivers of Rockabilly Outlaw, Greenwood, and McToasty. They are in P6, 7, and 8, and only 2 of those can go through.
So, and then just to mention too, I don't believe Dub Racing has qualified yet. I'll get double checking that with our operations guys, but I think it was on Sugo that was Spec VO2 that edged him out at the very end of that race. So I don't think Dub Racing is qualified yet either.
I can confirm that. I've just checked, yep, confirmed there. So actually we've got 4 drivers here in order right now. Rockabilly Outlaw, Greenwood, McToasty and Dub Racing. Those 4 are all vying for position. And Two-Tone Tommy, also not qualified. He's now joining this little party here. And, well, it is party time. This is beautiful stuff. And I'll tell you what, so's Fatman. So Fatman's involved here as well. Only 2 out of these 6 drivers could go through. Two-Tone Tommy's pulled out here to try and make an overtake. So's McToasty. McToasty's going to have to go the long way round here on Greenwood. Again, Greenwood's first ever race with us here. No experience whatsoever. And right now, Rockabilly Outlaw in that black car, you can see just go around the corner now, is in pole position here to potentially take that qualifying spot. McToasty's going to go around the outside. This is only going to cost these 2 time, and Greenwood now knows that this is the bubble position. He has to keep hold of it. Again, this is not for money now. The top 3, Smashing Apex. We've got Little Regret, Airstrike, one of the Airstrike, and Source in second with a 2-second penalty. So actually Little Regret would take second. That is the money position right now. But this is to qualify for our regional final, the biggest show in the United States this year. Gilherm is trying to get back into position here, and he's made a mistake, and actually looks like he may have had contact here with Fatman. Two-Tone Tommy is now behind Mr. Min Vikings, unfortunately, and well, the battle there is now down to 3 drivers. Rockabilly Outlaw, McToasty, and Greenwood. Those are the 3 battling for those 2 qualifying positions, but it can all change, Frank. We've seen it happen many a time.
Oh yeah, I mean, just like the last qualifier. Dub Racing, I think even he had that second penalty, and Spec VO2 was still on him and was able to overtake him, even though I think he would have gotten the position and the qualifying spot over him anyways because of that penalty. So that's something to keep an eye on too. If any of you viewers at home are watching, you see those little red boxes next to certain drivers' names in that box on the left side of your screen. Those are penalties, seconds, and those can matter at the very end, just like they did on Sugo. They can matter here with this group that's battling with Rockabilly and McToasty, and even Dub if he's able to come back and get into this pack a little bit. So yeah, any of this can change at any moment, and that's kind of what's exciting about Sim Race.
Just like the money position here, Source has just been overtaken by Little Regret, but Little Regret just overshot the exit of the corner, and Source is back involved here. But he has got a 2-second penalty, so that will be added to his race time at the end. So right now, Little Regret may be in P3, but in net race time is officially in P2. $50 between P2 and P3, $150 for second, $100 for third. So yeah, there's a nice couple of beers in that, that's for sure. But we've got to stay on board with this here. So Rockabilly Outlaw is currently in that qualifying position, but he's got Greenwood and McToasty closing him down quickly. Just had a message from race director as well, Frank Gilham. Wherever he will finish in this race will receive a free position or a 3-position grid penalty due to using the reset button as per the tournament rules.
Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of stuff to keep in mind out there on the track, because it's not just, sometimes I'm sure it's almost habit, right? Like if you're just racing in something that isn't an official tournament, you might just say, oh, I crashed, let me hit the reset button. But of course, with the way these qualifiers work and everything that is at stake, those rules definitely come into effect. And even things like positioning, I know there's been some disputes and things like that where you might be dangerously backing onto the track.
Hold on, sorry, McToasty's making a dive here for the inside. This is for the second qualifying position, and actually will not be able to get the power early. Too much of an acute angle going into the second to last corner. We come up towards the final turn here. So many different lines can be taken, and well, Greenwood is living to fight another day. On to the point you were making there about the penalties. Basically, that rule is in place because if you reset your car, you're off track. So if someone's driving in behind you and all of a sudden you appear in the middle of the circuit, that can cause all sorts of problems for everybody concerned. Right. So that is why that rule is in place. And yeah, that's the first time I think in 2 years of doing Project Cars 2 content, or Contomy as the community know it as. Yeah, I've never had to give a penalty out for that. So yeah, strange one that, but it does happen and it's proven there. But we want to make sure that everyone on the track is safe. Obviously, they're not going to get hurt physically, but of course it can ruin people's chances of, qualifying for the regional final or indeed earning money. But look at this battle here then, Frank. It's become, it was a 6-7 horse race. Now it's a 3-horse race with 9 minutes to go. So just under the halfway point, or over the halfway point of this race. But Toasty then is in P8. We've got Greenwood in P7, and then we've got Rockabilly Outlaw in P6. But we've got one of the Airstrike brothers just in front here who looks like he's going a lot slower than these three, and well, that he could prove to be the cork in the bottle. Yeah, interesting to see. I mean, Rockabilly Outlaw, we haven't really heard much from him. We've seen him in a lot of these races, but this performance today from him is stellar, and I think that just goes to the point you were making earlier about how we've seen all of these racers improve kind of week after week, and in this environment, a true tournament setting, a true race with stakes on the line, it really sort of starts to divide and bring the best out of different racers. So good on Rockabilly there, but then also Green right in behind him, and that's the first time we've seen him in this race. So I mean, it's exciting stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And, some of these guys, we don't know where they've come from. So they may have experience in league racing at a community level. They may have esports level on different games. I'm not too sure. But I tell you what, the experience is being put into fruition right now because Rockabilly Outlaw is going to try and overtake Airstrike as soon as possible. And I think Airstrike's got damage to the car because he's very, very convincingly got ahead here. And actually, I think Airstrike's probably going to get on the brakes. Oh, he's going to make it 3 wide here is Greenwood, and Greenwood thinks better of it. And now this is perfect here for Rockabilly Outlaw because he's got a car between him and the other 2 potential qualifiers. So right now, Rockabilly Outlaw will qualify for our regional final, and so will Greenwood. And now he's got a nice little buffer, and it's not a lap vehicle. May look like it's a lap vehicle, but this is 4 positions. So he's got the perfect nice little buffer here, Frank. Yeah.
Good stuff. And then, of course, if you see Airstrike, a lot of penalties out here coming out on Fuji today. So not sure if it's just a tougher course or drivers are just struggling a little more, or if these battles are getting tighter and tighter over these weeks and just drivers are being forced into more errors. So that's something interesting, too, that I'm kind of noticing with today's qualifier.
Yeah, for sure, but this is a huge statement of intent from these guys. They've not qualified yet, and they're mixing it with people who are already in the regional final, i.e. Airstrike. Airstrike making another mistake, and this is just costing McToasty time. Greenwood, by the way, has dropped completely off of the back of this little gathering of cars, and unfortunately, it may be a potential qualifying race over. McToasty making a bit of a mistake there. Dirty air being a huge factor. Look at the size of the wing. The turbulent air being caused from that is going to be huge. And yeah, McToasty and Rockabilly Outlaw looking pretty damn good right now. We look here at the lead here, or the second and third. The 2-second penalty, I believe it's still 2 seconds. It's now 3 seconds here for Source. A little regret, it's looking pretty good here to get net second and that $150 prize. But the one we haven't spoken about at all, which is quite the common occurrence at this point of the championship, is smashing Apex. And once again, Frank, he has been the star of the show and doesn't get any camera time.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to turn him into the villain because he's kind of our best shot going up against these other regions for the USA. So one thing, too, that'll be interesting to see is while Smashing Apex, of course, is out in front and doesn't really have to deal with these battles that, say, McToasty and Rockabilly are having to deal with, the tournament environment is something that's unique to the USA division. So going into those global finals where they're going against all these other regions, Smashing Apex, or THR Operator, as he's known on PC, will have this tournament experience that others might not. Of course, there's other drivers, and like you mentioned, I'm sure they drive in different leagues and perhaps different games in different esports settings. But, hopefully, of course, I might be biased here being from the US and all, but I'm pulling for our boy Smashing Apex going into that global final.
Yeah, of course, we want to see, what we've produced winning tournaments. But I don't know, obviously because there's money on the line, if there wasn't money on the line, I would expect him to go and not qualify in one of these events just to get some experience of running. Obviously, he's a very experienced driver, but, get experience along with these drivers about overtaking, being in the mid-pack and all that stuff. But because money's on the line, it doesn't really reward that if you do start from the back, because you want to, of course, win every race by as far as possible. You can see they're really struggling in the braking zone. They're locking up. The brakes are now really hot, but the tyres are really cold, so you're struggling to get the traction. We go back here to this battle for the qualifying positions. Rockabilly Outlaw looking pretty likely to get that spot here. Looks like McToasty has struggled to get past Airstrike, and he needs to get it done because right in behind him now is Dub Racing. So Dub Racing has made his way back through. Greenwood, unfortunately, down in P9, but it's looking like McToasty and Rockabilly Outlaw are going to be our two qualifiers. But the longer McToasty stays behind that very damaged car in front, the more time it is indeed going to cost him.
Yeah, I'm just kind of happy to see these new guys, and it's unfortunate for Dub Racing always being, just seconds behind, and like we saw the last qualifier, edged out by Spec VO2, who I don't believe is in today's race either. So he might have said, okay, I'm qualified, I'm good to go. So that opens a position for, people like McToasty and Dub, and I think...
big mistake. He needs to be careful here because he's got Dub Racing in behind him, and it's all about qualifying at this point. Obviously, he knows the car in front is slower, but is the car, sufficiently slow enough to cause him to lose this position to Dub Racing? So it's a cat and mouse game at this point. Does he want to get this overtake done as soon as possible, or is he going to be a bit more careful about it and think, I'm going to hang behind him and just hope that, indeed Dub Racing doesn't catch me? I think he's got to do the aforementioned comment by me. He's got to try and get the move done as soon as possible. But ultimately, it's costing him here because he's really pushing and he's losing a lot of traction into corners. You can see there, he's run out a little bit wide and he's starting to use a bit too much curb for my liking. And with the track temperature being as low as this is right now, it's like driving on ice at this point here, Frank. And yeah, we're seeing the mistakes starting to creep in. And all of a sudden, where's Dub Racing? And he's not far behind. So I think you'll find that McToasty needs to get the move done as soon as possible. And Airstrike there, breaking the slipstream. Airstrike's got nothing to race for here, but he's definitely racing. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I just love how it's sort of that consistency. We mentioned that, even early on these qualifiers, that the more consistent you can be throughout the race, the more you're going to be able to improve week after week. But in moments like this, it's that consistency that really matters. And if you're McToasty trying to hold on and you've got Dub Racing coming in behind you, just hungry for a qualifying spot, then yeah, you're going to be feeling the pressure a little bit in a situation like this.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than having a car in front of you that is slower than you, but they're not finding the space, not finding the speed to get the overtake done. He knows that Airstrike's got the damage. That is the nature of a track with a huge straight. You can figure out who's got damage in a straight line very, very quickly indeed. And he's definitely catching a lot quicker than what Slipstream would give you the advantage for. And here we go, up the inside then. And can he hang it round the outside? This is where we see McToasty make a mistake on lap 1 and lose, 3-4 positions. And he's really, really far out wide here. But he's going to try and drag race then. And can he get this move done? This could be key for his qualification into the regionals. And Airstrike's gone on the brakes late there. And he's held on. He has held on here. And this is only going to cost McToasty time. So Dub Racing is going to be seeing this in front of him. He's going to be licking his lips at this opportunity. And I think with, what, 1 lap to go, potentially 2, where is Smashing Apex? Smashing Apex is going through turn number 1. So actually, we're potentially going to get 2 more laps here. But Toasty is in a little bit of bother here. I think Dub Racing may be able to catch up. Airstrike 1, though, leaving the room here for McToasty to proper battle here. And actually, there's a mistake by Airstrike. McToasty gets it done. And he's going to easily get this move done now. And, well, you see how hard it is for McToasty to get through. Dub Racing to overtake McToasty now has to do that very same job.
Yeah, I think that goes to... Airstrike's credit too, and behind him, that experience, that defensive driving, even though he's got a bit of a slowdown with the car due to the damage, he's still just able to take those lines so consistently and know exactly what to do in those defensive positions. While it's a great job by McToasty finally getting that overtake, give it up for Airstrike 1 and that defensive driving as well. Yeah,
of course, and I think that's probably... more experience for him moving forward in the championship. Of course, he's already qualified for... Oh, who's that? That's a big off there. Oh, it's Rockabilly Outlaw! Rockabilly Outlaw's out of the qualifying positions! He's made a mistake all on his own. Too much curb by the looks of things, and he's in the wall. He has made friends with the wall, and the wall has duly said, yes, I will shake your hand. Come here, my friend. And that is game over then for Rockabilly Outlaw. And all of a sudden, Dub Racing doesn't need to overtake Airstrike 1. He is now in that qualifying spot. This is what happens here with the times 25 time progression. The track temperature changes, the track conditions change, and it's all about being, how you can adapt to the situation. Unfortunately, Rockabilly Outlaw didn't this time, and Dub Racing has just kept himself in there. And as they say in poker, if you've got a chip on a chair, you're still in the game. And that's what Dub Racing's done right there. He's not pushed it, he's not done anything crazy, he's waiting for a mistake, and he's pounced like a panther.
Yeah, heartbreaking again for Rockabilly Outlaw there. He's performing so well, but just like you said, one little mistake and it can cost you an entire qualifying position. So just a tough spot to be in, but I mean, that's kind of what this sim racing demands. It demands your best, and if you're, just off by one little hair, it can cost you and you'll be face to face with a wall.
It's so unique. You've got Call of Duty, for instance, let's throw search and destroy out there. If you lose a round, you've got, within 10 seconds, you're in another round and you've got a chance of redemption. Make a mistake in sim racing, it is game over.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting comparison because, you could be, okay, we're down a couple rounds, let's slow it down, let's bring it back. In sim racing, there's no real room for that, aside of maybe losing a position and fighting to get it back. But the stakes are much higher. You can make one mistake and be completely out of it and not even have a chance to fight back. And we've seen that happen, with a couple different qualifiers, like in qualifier number 2 when Driver 13 had just won qualifier number 1, and then seconds into the start of the race, his car's flipped over and he's on his, upside down and he's totally out of the race. So it's those little exciting moments, while heartbreaking for the drivers, that really make sim racing as an esport really exciting and nail-biting to watch.
And well, here's Smashing Apex here, punching his card for work because he's picking up the check once again, takes it home. That's how you feed your family, by sim racing in the LogitechG USA Championship. He picks up the $250, of course, pending any investigations. Source then is in P2. Did Little Regret get it? No, he didn't. So Source has done enough here for the hard work. He had the penalty, but he will pick up P2. Airstrike, one of the Airstrike brothers, will finish in P4. But McToasty is the big dog here. McToasty is going to take P5, and it's the first qualifying position. He will be in the regional final. He's been umming and ahhing about being in this competition. And well, here you go. Here's your reward, McToasty. Very much deserved. Airstrike 1989 is going to finish in 6th spot, but it's Dub Racing who has just kept himself in there, thrown the anchors down and just stayed afloat, and he's also qualified for our regional final. Greenwood, he'll come back fighting next week, I'm pretty sure of that. He looks like a very promising talent considering it was his first week. Mr. Min Vikings then in 9th position. We've then got Two-Tone Tommy, who will be in 10th. He'll come back again, of course. Rockabilly Outlaw, what can you say, Frank? He's just bottled it here, really, along with Gilham. Gilham was right up there as well, and he found himself facing the wrong way. And, of course, he will actually finish in 15th position, even though he finishes in 12th here because of the reset button. Yush did good. Didn't see too much of him here today, but just learning his ropes here for sure. Batman is, he's been lapped, so unfortunately he's already finished. He's in 14th position. And then the Bull City, who did have to pit on lap 1, will finish in 15th position. But it's all about Smashing Apex, and it's another 250 smackaroonies.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably shopping at Whole Foods just nonstop now, if I had to guess. Like, he's just making it rain, going all the grass-fed, all this everything, all organic, man. I got to get into sim racing. It looks like you start making some good money out here.
Yeah, there's money to be made, guys. That is what I've been an advocate for such a long time in sim racing. These drivers need to be paid, and they are being paid. Smashing Apex, it's your round, my friend.
Yeah. 250 going to Smashing Apex. Sauce in second place there. 150 for him, and little regret there in third. $100 going on. So, guys, that's going to be it for our PS4 qualifier. But we're not done yet. We've got another race on Fuji coming up on PC. So we'll be right back after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. During week 5 of the LogitechG Challenge, we saw an intense 4-way battle on Sugo between McToasty, Spec VO2, Dub Racing, and Mr. Min Viking to qualify for the USA Division Regional Finals. These 4 drivers left their blood, sweat, and gears on Sugo, but it was this nail-biting finish that earned Spec VO2 the Logitech G Challenge play of the race.
V2 gets held up behind, but they're both being held up right now, and I think this is going to cost McToasty. He not only needs to stay ahead here, he needs to get 1 second ahead, and Spec V2 wants to get it done on track. They're going side by side around the final corner, and Spec V2 is not only going to get it because of the penalty, but he's going to do it on track. Spec V2 is going to take the second qualifying position, and this has been nail-biting stuff, but he does. He gets P5 and the second qualifying spot. McToasty's going to have to live to fight another.
All right, guys, so welcome back to the Logitech G Challenge USA Regional Qualifier. We're moving over to PC now, but if you're just joining us, if you're just tuning in, I'm gonna do a quick little review of the format. So basically right now you're watching one of our regional qualifiers. Racers here are trying to qualify for our regional final, and so coming up next, what you're going to be watching right here is that PC qualifier. And rather than just 2, which we have on PS4 qualifying, 3 racers are going to be coming from PC that are going to move on to that kind of second stage. But again, on PC, we've got money on the line again, of course. So first place is going to be winning that $250. First place, I believe, is also being renamed to THR Operator. So it's just going to be THR Operator winning $250, but we'll see. Second place winning $150, and third place going to be winning $100 as well. So once you're qualified for our regional final, you'll be amongst our top 40 drivers in this USA division. From that, just one PC racer and one PS4 racer are going to be battling it out for that $1,000 a Logitech G product bundle worth $800 in prizes, and of course that travel package to the Logitech G Challenge Global Final. So that's kind of what's at stake, what's going on here, what you're watching. And again, if you want, full breakdown, full rules, full everything, full information, and if you want to sign up yourself, be sure to head on over to actualvision.com/G Challenge USA or follow @TeamBeyondNet on Twitter. You can get all the updates and all the information there. But again, we're going to be racing on the Fuji Speedway on PC. But Luke, I'll just chat with you for a bit while we get this time trial going. How you doing after that crazy finish to our PS4 qualifier?
It was, yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling pumped. We had not much action near the front. We had not much action at the back. But ironically, we had the perfect action in the middle where all the people who hadn't already qualified for our regional final were all duking it out for position. So I am very, very excited for this next race. 18 drivers in total. Should we meet the drivers, Frank?
Yeah, let's break it down.
So here we go then, guys. Here are your drivers then for the PC final here today. KJ Duff then is in from the United States of America. We've now also got Echo, his first ever race with us here. He is from Canada. And number 99, we're actually on board with him right now. Maybe cheat codes, who knows? Lost Samurai then, whose real name is Lost Samurai 604, is from Canada. Yep, Old School from the United States of America. Can't really say the whole name, but we'll say Old School to keep it friendly. It's a Christian channel, of course. Aldo Zampatti from Argentina. There are other religions out there, guys, just to let you know. X-Tricky is from Canada in the number 59. Max A. Power then from the United States of America. Bubble Bar, that's a very appropriate comment, is it, do you think? Yeah, unbelievable. CP Polar 268 then, Antonio Ruiz from the United States of America. Chomp Taxi then, my favorite name so far in this championship. His third race with us, he's getting quicker and quicker. He is from Canada. Sav H25, his real name is Sav H25. He's from the United States of America. We've then got Didgid Donald Featherline, who I don't think's in this championship. He signed up for both. I don't believe he's got PC. Yeah, don't ask me the questions. Yeah, strange. THR Operator USA then from the United States of America, of course, smashing Apex on PlayStation 4. Can he win another 250 beans? Urban Bum Fights is from the United States of America. Jeez. Oh my god. Tweeby BB then from the United States of America as well. Soundwave then we have got Edwin Rojas from Bolivia, living in the United States of America. First Bolivian ever. It's amazing. Rez SJ Cal Dom Rosalind. He is from the United States of Americano. Racer 66 Chris Sweeney. He's back. He's racing. He is from the United States of America. Freaky Naughty from Canada. He is in that orange and black livery. THR flip mode, then one of the THR brothers, Andy Berg, and he is from the United States of America. That is all of your drivers in front, 18 in total. We had 2 sign up for PC who are exclusively on PS4. You could do the math on how they've managed to do that. But yeah, that is our 18 drivers.
I was gonna say, like, for a platform called PC, some of these names certainly aren't very PC. But hey, you get what you get some of these days.
It's frequently asked question, by the way, the FAQ. So that was what it stands for. I've maybe tried to make us say something crazy, but I think it's
don't think so. We're better than that, man. We're better than that. Meanwhile, while I'm saying I'm better than that, hold on. I think I'm gonna have to take my shoes off to count the qualified positions already for PC. So give me 1 second here. We'll go over who's qualified already. So on PC, you got THR Operator, who's smashing Apex on PS4, just to keep that in people's minds. Then we have THR Wildwind, who's already qualified on PC. Max A Power has already qualified. Racer 66, Blashy Boy, who we haven't seen, I don't believe, in a little bit. Komori, Chonk Taxi, another THR boy. THR Flip Mode has also qualified. Snakey is qualified. Rez SJ Cal, Race Made Ruby, Dave Card 10, Sarv H25, Lost Samurai, and Chunksters have all already qualified on PC. And put my shoes back on after counting that one. But so look for 3 more spots to be available on PC for those qualifying positions. So, I mean, we'll see if a couple of these new faces have what it takes. I know we saw some good stuff out of a couple of those new drivers on PS4, but unfortunately just weren't able to close it out. But like we've seen over the weeks, that experience means a whole lot. So the more you see these names, I mean, the higher and higher their chances are for qualifying, just from experience and sort of being in this environment alone.
Well, yeah, there is a lot to be said for experience, but we've actually got ourselves Rez, who's only done a couple of races, currently in P1, with Chonk Taxi P2, Sarv up to P3, already qualified, and Operator only in P4. So under a little bit of pressure here, but we've seen him get into the lobby with 2 minutes to go and still go pole position. So right now, 3 minutes 30 seconds to go. He's got an absolute age to get his best time in. And actually, he's coming up towards the final corner now. And I'm probably going to throw it out there here, Frank. He'll probably go pole position.
I was going to say, maybe he just heard what you were saying about him on the PS4 during the PS4 race and was like, well, you know what? I'm going to prove Luke wrong. Let me get in the middle of the pack and I'll still win anyways.
Yeah, that'd be a very strange strategy from Mr. Operator. But I've seen him do it before, and I'm sure we'll see him do it again. And actually, he has not improved on his time here. So a 38.6, and actually, we're genuinely seeing the THR driver under a touch of pressure right now. And this track is very renowned for its limits as well. So if you do indeed run off circuit, you've got to slow down. So that means you're straight out of qualifying. That is it. You can't improve any time on that specific lap. So yeah, maybe he's struggling with the track limits on PC. The force feedback is ever so slightly different from console to PC. You need to set up the wheel a little bit differently, I would say, to find the absolute sweet spot. It's a little bit more pronounced on PC for me. So yeah, maybe he's just struggling to find the sweet spot right now. But the 3 in front of him aren't going to give 2 hoots about that, because that's where the money is, baby.
Yeah, they're saying, hey, this is looking like a payday now. You see Operator in your lobby, and you're like, all right, it's a race for second place, but maybe not today on Fuji on PC. So that'll be certainly interesting and something to keep our eye on going forward here. But yeah, excited to get into this PC race. And of course, we've only got 2 of these qualifiers left. So while there's still spots open, they are dwindling down for some of these other drivers. But again, if you guys, think you've got what it takes, can compete out here on the track with some of these guys, head on over. That's actualvision.com/GChallengeUSA. You can find all the information there. Get your shot at that prize pool, but also a qualifying position, because like you saw on PS4, you can't qualify twice, so those positions bump down. So there's definitely an opportunity. Even if you think you might not be the fastest guy out there, you might just not be the fastest guy yet. So sign up and kind of see what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. If anyone's got any questions after the stream as well, go follow me at ActualVision on Twitter. And if you want to send me a DM, my DMs are indeed open, so you guys can get any information you would like about this. This is my dark horse right now, Aldo Zampati. Never seen him race before, but judging by his license, he's got an A1800 license. To be over sort of 1700, you've got to be pretty damn good. I say that because mine is S1854. But let's not go into my stats. But yeah, not seen him before to have that kind of level, and he's probably only done it in public lobbies. I'm expecting to see him really shine here. But I tell you what, someone who is now shining is Operator, but it's only 0.2 of a second right now, and the top 5 separated by 1.1 second. But this guy here, Rez, is getting quicker and quicker every single week here, Frank.
Yeah, and he's someone we didn't really see until about midway through all these qualifiers. So to see him come out and he's been racing so well, I think, you know, what was it, the qualifier number 4 or 5, we saw him finally qualify, but he's just been steadily moving up. And Chonk Taxi, another one as well, who's just been getting quicker. So a lot of these guys on PC definitely giving Operator a little bit more of a run for his money. But I wanted to mention just, man, doesn't the name Aldo Zampati just sound like a fast driver?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
If I was gonna make up a name for myself, like a pen name for writing, but was gonna be a racing name, Aldo Zampati just sounds fast.
Well, I've got a new son being born in 5 weeks' time, and I'm hoping he's going to be a racing driver. So Aldo Zampati is going to be his official name if Aldo does indeed go get victory here today. So I've thrown it out there.
A lot on the line. Yeah. You thought the prize pool and the qualifying positions were a lot on the line. Now the name of your child is being on the line too. We just keep adding on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so much at stake right now. And talking about so much at stake is Operator has not only gone pole, but he's obliterated everyone. And that's our first 36 of the day, a 36.980. That's an incredible lap time there by Operator. And he is on pole position at an absolute canter right now. But can we see somebody get up ahead of him here? We've got Bum Fights, which is a great name. Down in P8, teammate THR Flipmo still out on track here. 2 Operator in P9. Lost Samurai is in the pits, P10. We've then got CP Polar. Can he improve then? Can he go up a few positions? Prize for the winner of the G Challenge is naming my son.
There we go. Yeah, I'll have to get on. We'll have to probably work something out with legal on that, though. I'm not quite sure.
I don't think it's legal, man. You got to work something out with my missus.
Yeah, that's the real law, isn't it?
That's the real legal battle I've got every day of my life. CP Polar went down from 10th to 12th there. He's lost a couple of positions. Freaky Naughty then does manage to go up into P9. And, well, yeah, we're seeing some very, very quick times. It should be a close race. And, well, Operator then is in at P1. Chonk Taxi takes P2 at the death here. Rez then down to P3, Sav in P4, Aldo Zampati is in P5, Max A Power is in P6, Racer 66 then in P7, Bum Fights in P8, Freaky Naughty in behind Bum Fights.
It's too much, man. Come on. They set you up for that one.
Yeah, they did. THR Flip Mode in P10. Let's get into the race. Oh god!
It couldn't have worked out any more perfect / wrong. When Freaky Naughty's coming in behind Bum Fights, you know you're in for a good race, man.
Yeah, we're in for a fun time.
Normally you have to pay extra for something like that, but
yeah, that is
here with the Logitech G Challenge, man, you can just tune in and watch it happen live.
I'm not over it, man. Right, let's get into the race here then at Fuji, which apparently anything goes here in Asia at this point. We've got Operator then in pole position. Chonk Taxi is in second position. Can he taxi his way up to the lead of this race? And, well, can we see some pressure being put on? We are off here then for the PC final for qualifier number 6 of the USAG Challenge, and actually Operator's got off the line like an absolute whippet, and you can see straight away Chonk Taxi's like, let me get in that slipstream, let me try and make a little move here for P1, and actually I think Chonk Taxi's going to get shunted there. He's going to go all the way around. Ooh. And who was that in second position? That was Aldo Zampati. That wasn't Aldo Zampati, it was Sav. So Sav has caused that, and you'd think he would like to give the position back, because that's really poor from Sav. You'd expect better for someone who's already qualified, but Zampati has been put up into P2 from this, and now we've just got to hope he doesn't win, so I'd have to name my child after him. Max A Power then up into P4. You can see that Rez then is under a lot of pressure here from Chonk Taxi. Chonk Taxi trying to make his way back up through here, and he does indeed. He's going to go the long way around, a little bit of argy-bargy there on the exit, but Chonk Taxi up the inside. Can he get it done? Rez is really squeezing him here, and now they're both going to end up off track. Both trying to steal some extra meters there. It's not worked out well. Rez then trying to make it 3 wide, and now they're just being overly aggressive, and now this is just showing, well, just really poor, to be honest, and that's where money's involved. People are a little bit too eager to get themselves up into that top 3, and actually it's had the adverse effect here, because now they've got a gap to the top 4.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It can bring the best driving out of people, but sometimes kind of the worst in terms of etiquette out on the track. But, while it does happen, I'm sure as these qualifiers go on, you start getting a little bit more and more desperate. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting to see when we've seen such kind driving, and we always talk about the praise for the racing community and how good that community is and those sort of things. Just sometimes you get a little, start seeing red, see a little blood out there, or maybe you see, $150 out in front of you and just want to get a little bit more aggressive for that position. But, it's something you do see from time to time, but in general, I've got to say that, especially throughout these qualifiers, the racing has been very sportsmanlike.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what happens with money. A few of these guys, it's like a shark. They earn a little bit of money, and then they smell that money. It's like blood. They're like, oh, well, I want to do that again, and then they're out of position. Like they used to come in 3rd or 2nd, earning a bit of money, and then when they're out of position, they're like, oh god, I should be a bit higher here. And unfortunately, in racing, you always deserve the position you're in. It's very, very simple. You've got to battle your way up cleanly, and if you don't do that, you're going to cause accidents. So you can see there was, I believe, by Rez. Just got into the middle there and made it 3 wide into this specific corner we're coming into right now. And you can't go into this hairpin 3 wide, it just doesn't work out. It's such an acute exit here at Fuji, and it's costing their potential races at this point. We can see the Chong Taxi and actually Rez are now up to the back of this pack here. It looks like we've got a 4-5-way battle for what would be 2nd position here, because I think you're going to find an operator is going to definitely check out at this point. Again, in the lead by 2 seconds. There was a mistake in front of here by Rez, and Rez then, well, he was looking to try and go up the inside here, but actually takes a nice wide entrance into the final corner so you can get the power early. And Chong Taxi has just reciprocated there. Don't think there's actually any contact. And now, well, you can see here, Chong Taxi does, well, he didn't get ahead here because now Rez has pulled straight across Chong Taxi and he couldn't get it done. So these two, well, there's a little bit of a story developing here, Frank.
Yeah.
They are not seeing eye to eye.
No, they're on, they might be on the same track, but they're definitely on different pages here, for sure. And,
that's a big mistake there. Who was that? That was Max A Power. So Max A Power there really, he must have, I don't know, had some sort of penalty to get rid of because he was very, very early on the brakes there. And well, it's cost him now 2 positions here. So Chong Taxi moves up position and so does Rez. But Rez has made a mistake here. Check out the timings. It's a 1-second penalty. Oh, Chong Taxi up the inside then. He's going to get it done. Rez then loses out here. A little bit of contact as Chong Taxi goes through. And, well, these two now are having a bit of, oh, well, look at this Max A Power trying to get through as well. And, well, is Rez going to see red at this point, Frank? We've seen his reaction hasn't been the best to adversity. And now he needs to really just focus, just chill out, take a couple of laps, just stay in behind Chong Taxi, and then potentially take the position clean. But he's looking very much like he's eager to get that spot back as soon as possible.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chong Taxi in 4th, too. He might have a couple of fares to pay for. I don't think he's finished in the money just yet, except for maybe 1 qualifier. So he's trying to work his way up into that 3rd position. But yeah, it looks like Rez has that penalty as well. But Max A Power kind of avoiding that, and he's in that pack, too. But also, I think our boy Aldo's in 2nd. Of course, he's off, THR operator, going to make sure you get to choose what your kid's name is. So good on operator for that one. We'll give him points for that. But this is the first time we've seen Aldo, and he's blazing a trail in 2nd place right now.
Yeah, he was my dark horse for sure, just based on his license for racing here on Project Cars 2. So people who say that the license rating means absolutely nothing, here's your proof here. And I've made a couple of calls this championship based off of that information. And it's duly worked out. So you can see here he's doing pretty well. He probably went down to 5th position and start. No, sorry, he started in 5th position. So he's kind of taken full advantage of Saab making that mistake in turn 1. And Saab will more than likely be under investigation for that from the drivers that he did impact. Of course, we've have an incident system within this championship. We do have penalties that will be applied for the next available qualifier as well. So Saab may be under investigation, but it's all down to the players putting the reports in. So don't necessarily, if the player doesn't report it, it doesn't happen. It's very, very simple. You can see that Rez then is in behind Chong Taxi again, and like he's kind of even pace right now. So for me, he's just clearing his mind here, Frank, and just trying to get the red mist away, and then he can have a nice attack. And actually, it's a mistake there by Chong Taxi, and Rez is right up his arse pipe at this point. Can he get the move done?
Yeah, interesting to see from Rez here. Taxi, just by the name alone, I think he's one of the favorites in my book. So good to see his driving kind of backing that up. And yeah, but Rez just really working to squeeze him out, but doing so in a little bit more of a gentlemanly fashion now. And yeah, but I gotta say, off the break on Fuji here, that was definitely one of the most intense and kind of aggressive starts that I think I've seen during these Logitech qualifiers. So yeah, and maybe we'll see more of it. I'm not sure what to predict now going into the next two qualifiers, the last two qualifiers, but yeah, players definitely getting a little more eager to make sure they qualify and maybe get in these money positions.
Yeah, you can see Rez here. This is a battle to try and, well, it's not really for the money right now. This is for P4, but it means they can then go and challenge the top three here. You can see the Chonk Taxi is leaving the perfect amount of room here. Rez then squeezing him out wide and actually decides to get on the brakes a little bit earlier there. So it looks like the red mist is calm between these two. And they are, oh, well, I say that.
Whoa.
He makes a little gap up the inside. Oh, Chonk Taxi leaves like the minimal amount of room at the inside, and well, look at this, Rez gets it done, but runs out wide here, and Chonk Taxi's like, no sir, I'm going to get the whoop-de-whoop done on you, gets the move done, and now he's back into P4. They're only losing time to the top three at this point, so for them to earn money, they need the, Zambotti and of course Hatsab to make a mistake here or two, but these two, looks like they're going to have a race-long battle.
Yeah, and actually, hopefully that video should be out soon.
Oh, big mistake there. Chonk Taxi again on the brakes. The track conditions are, of course, getting cooler here, so braking becomes more difficult. You have to brake a touch earlier every single lap. And Rez did not read that, so a little bit more contact there. And I think you're going to have more orange paint on the silver car and more silver paint on the orange car by the end of this race. They are definitely paint swapping at this point. Yeah,
but like I was going to mention just real quick, we kind of talked with driver 13 who qualified on PS4 after one of the races, and he mentioned how it's almost like a social network in a way, like the way different drivers drive out on the track, it really gives you a sense of their personality, or at least what they're thinking during the time. So it's really interesting to see, Rez, we haven't really seen this kind of aggression out of him before, but maybe just something set him off today, or just this battle with Chonk Taxi is doing him in. But it's really cool to watch that you can see almost the mental state, or what some of these drivers are thinking, or just who they are just by the way they drive out on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Meet someone for the first time and go into the side of them.
Yeah.
I guess that must, first time to the pub, oh, I don't like you, bang.
Right, yeah.
That's how it works, apparently. But yeah, I can understand what he's saying there in that regard. Yeah, quite often I've raced against someone and gone, oh, they're an idiot. And quite rightly, many people have said the same about me. And then you've spoke to them a few times, like, oh, they're quite nice, actually. On the flip side, I've always just been called an idiot, never been able to get the reprieve from that tag. But yeah, it does, I don't know. It's difficult to really judge here. When you're at a community level, or if you're racing just for fun, if someone's being the ass of the lobby, if you like, they're the ones who are always chucking out the inside, then you know that there's something wrong with not wrong with their personality, or they're more of an aggressive person, I guess, in that respect. But when it comes for money, pretty much everyone's going and sending it up. Oh, that's awful. That is absolutely awful there by Rez. That should be a give the position back. And well, these two, they really are not holding any punches here. That is not what you want to see here at racing. And there's so many different lines around the final sector at this circuit here, Frank. So there's always a big opening up the inside around the final sector, and those things, you're well open to it. But Rez really needs to take a look at himself in the mirror there, because that is a big, big, big no-no.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? It's maybe in regards to that sort of personality thing, like, okay, maybe you got too close, you bumped someone, or you got bumped by them early on in the race, but you can't assume anything about it, right? It might have just been an accident. They might not have seen you coming in on that inside, and you kind of just have to let it go. You can't carry it throughout the entire race with you, because then you're just not only putting your lap at stake, but then you got to think about all the other drivers out there too, and they're just trying to battle against the track. Yeah.
We're seeing here, look at the front three. They're just driving away from these two because they're just playing silly buggers at this point. And it just becomes, well, I'll tell you what, there's a big mistake there by Rez. And, Rez is just squeezing him out there. I think that was just about legal. I'm staying on board with this, because get the popcorn out, ladies and gentlemen. This is about to get real fruity. And again, a little mistake there. Rez swiping across track. And this is not what we want to see. And again, he's just shoved him out wide. And this is really poor from them. And look at the people catching them up behind now. We've got Racer 66 then right in behind them here. And this is awful. Really, really bad from Rez. Chomp Taxi will expect a lot better. And the vendetta, it does indeed continue. You see that Racer 66 doesn't want to get involved in this really here, Frank. But unfortunately, if he wants to make the overtake to get up into P4, he's got to.
Yeah, it's just almost like one of those like awkward positions. Like you're kind of witnessing this happening and you're not sure what to say or how to even react to it because it's definitely a bit of a quarrel going out on the track. And I'm just kind of watching how this plays out. Like we mentioned, you would hope, or in any situation, okay, someone bumps you, it might be an accident. You can't, assume what they're thinking kind of thing. And you just got to move on from it and just race the race and not make it personal. Even though there is things like money and qualifying positions on the line.
Going for it up the inside then, and Chonk Taxi closes the door at the last second there. And well, now he's in a battle here of Racer 66. Looks like Rez has got some sort of free track to try and aim for here, and well, this battle may be over. But yeah, Racer 66 needs to get this done. They're two very damaged cars in front there, all their own fault at this point. And yeah, just very, very poor. Not really a fan of the way these guys are driving. And as someone pointed out in the chat, it's like watching two Magnuses fight. If you're a Formula 1 fan, you get it. If you don't, you don't, I guess. Max A Power then in P7. And now he's closing up to the back of these. So we're going to stay on board here with Max A Power for a couple of laps, because Racer 66 is definitely going to get slowed down by these two in front if they keep being idiots towards each other. And this could incur race bans the way they're driving here. We don't want to be seeing this at esports level, that's for sure. And I don't know what your feelings on this, Frank. Of course, you're relatively new to the world of racing, but that is poor.
Well, I'll tell you kind of what I'm thinking is this is definitely not, this is the exception and not the norm to the way we've seen drivers drive. So I don't want someone tuning in right now being like, oh, this is what it's like this seems kind of, and they're turned off by it. I've said, and you can go back and watch the other races, I've been a big proponent and a big fan of the way the racing community is, the way it's welcoming to newer drivers. We've seen drivers, I don't believe he's in the lobby today, but drivers like Bones, who literally got the game one night before the first qualifier, and he was just welcomed with open arms. People were helping him get his setup, make sure his settings were right, even helping him go through the track and that sort of thing. We've even got the public lobbies that are open for the 2 weeks between each qualifier, where you can get on with your buddies, kind of race, share notes, that sort of thing. So I want to be clear that this is definitely the exception and not the norm. The racing community in general is very welcoming, especially to new drivers, new racers, and that sort of thing. This is just something, maybe someone's having a little bit of a bad day and they're taking it out on the track, and that's definitely not what we want to see.
Racer 66 there makes a mistake in behind the two drivers then, and he is gone. So Max A Power moves up to P6. But yeah, like you say, this is very much an exception. It's our 12th race so far. Finals anyway, we've had qualifying rounds every week, but this is our 12th final race, 12th race that's been streamed. It's the first time we've seen any action like this. And ironically, they both already qualified for the regional final. Right. So penalties could be incurred that could see them not have a chance in that regional final, as I guess we'll review the footage at the end of this race, but we don't want to be seeing action like this. This is poor, especially from people who are already, in this process. It's not like they're new to this level, so it's really, really quite poor to see. But let's check out then who is potentially in the qualifying spots for and in the money. Operator then leads the way, 5 minutes to go here. He's on $250 if he wins this 500 for the day. We've then got Aldo Zampatti, who I've called Zambrotti. Patty is in P2. This will be not only $150 in this skyrocket, but he will also get himself into the regional final, which will take place. Wow, it's about 6 weeks' time as well. Not very far
coming up
away at all. Hold on. Just going to die quickly.
It's just breathing on all those exhaust fumes, man. You gotta, get some fresh air out there. Spending too much time out on the track.
Yeah, of course. Sav then is in P3, and he's already qualified. So Zambatti is going to reach our regional final. Sav is going to pick up the last bit of money here. Rez is already qualified for our regional final. So is Chonk Taxi. So is Max A Power. The Racer, or VR Racer, is already qualified. So the next ones would be CP Polar and FAQ.
Yeah.
Well, I say that. FAQ should bold it here. And how close is Air Codes? Close enough. He now moves up into the qualifying spots here. And, well, FAQ has just thrown it all away. Frequently asked questions. How do you qualify for the regional final? That is not the answer.
No, definitely not, but definitely a little bit more respectful here in the back of the pack in these qualifying positions that we've seen out of these racers. But again, like we mentioned, I can't stress it enough. This is a new name we haven't really seen before out here, at least in the Logitech G Challenge, and he's now battling for a qualifying position. So, I mean, if you think you can race, if you think you got what it takes, even if you're just interested in it, again, sign up. Get out here on the track. There's open lobbies to practice. You could be the next qualifier. You could be the next Igor Fraga. You could have the next driving esports contract. There's so many different paths to pro now. Sim racing is blowing up. And I mean, we've seen it kind of week after week. A lot of these drivers who just show up to compete, get that experience, they end up improving so much more rapidly than they would if they were just practicing on their own, doing time trials, driving solo. So if you have any interest at all, if you think you've got what it takes, sign up, actualvision.com/GChallengeUSA. I want to see you out here next week.
Yeah, for sure. It's open to absolutely everybody. Yeah, make sure you do indeed go to actualvision.com/GChallengeUSA.
Yeah.
Again, if you've got any questions, make sure that you hit me up on Twitter or in the Discord, beyond Discord, or indeed my own Discord. But yeah, those options are all available. So again, I know it's for someone who's never done it before, they're like, oh my God, there's so many things you've got to do. I am more than happy to answer questions. Actually, tomorrow is an off day for us in the UK, so I'll be available all day. So get yourself involved. We want to see loads of new drivers, and you've only got 2 weeks to do this. So, you know, think about next 2 weeks' time is the 7th out of 8 rounds. If you can get some experience there, get your foot in the door, and then week 8, potentially that's the week where you go and try and qualify. So yeah, get yourselves involved, guys. But look at this then, FAQ trying to retake the position here. Sorry, it's Freaky Naughty then trying to take the position. Round the outside he goes then, and FAQ holding a very tight line, and I think you'll find a whoop-de-wop is potentially on here for Freak. Up the inside, going to run out of track then, and actually has to get off. Oh, up the inside, late move up the inside. Can he get the car stuck? He does. He's got to hold on the power nice and early. FAQ then is holding a very tight line, and he's going to have to go the long way round here. Freak then up the inside. Can he hold on to it? I think he can. No, he can't. FAQ then round the outside up towards the hairpin here. And Freak's going to go late on the brakes here, grab a bit of curb on the inside, block pass. But look at this. FAQ then opening up the next corner. And too much curb there is going to gift Freak the position. And Freak goes up into P11. Fantastic work by both those drivers.
Yeah, now that's how you take that corner, right? There's the example. We showed you what not to do earlier, and now here's how you do it. Great stuff out of Freaky Naughty, but equally good stuff out of Old School there. So, yeah.
Old School's not. He was in a qualifying position, whether he knew that or not.
Yeah.
You know, and he's made that mistake at turn number 1 2 laps ago. But he's not on tilt. He's got his head collected. He's just had he's lost the position, but he had a sensational battle there.
Yeah.
We're looking at 2 people at the front end of this grid, a little bit quicker, who've just been battling with each other side by side, hitting each other's doors. You know, it's embarrassing to see experienced drivers doing that, yet someone new has come in here, made probably the biggest error he's ever made in sim racing, you know, i.e. losing a qualifying spot, yet, you know, he's out of position and he's still showing respect to those drivers. And he's made the same mistake again as I say that. Oh,
but hey, but you know what? He's out here getting that experience, and there's only one way you can get that experience, and that's to be out here doing it. So even though it might have cost him that, and that too, and you get that. That's the great thing about these being streamed, and that as well is you can kind of make a name for yourself, and how you drive out there kind of represents yourself too. But I mean, it's just great stuff out of him, and now he has that experience. It's something he couldn't have really learned any other way, regardless of if he knew he was in a qualifying spot or not. That's just, I mean, that's how you learn from it and you move on, kind of deal.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and well, talk about learning and moving on. This guy learned a long time ago. Operator still leading this race. We're on the final lap of the race, and well, he is now 11.5 seconds ahead. He's going to take a huge error, but we know that he takes a bit of speed off on the last 2 laps of every single race, so he should indeed cross the line and pick up another $250. Zam Patty then his first race here in the Logitech G USA Challenge, and we've seen some qualifiers who've qualified on their first attempt, but not this convincingly. He looks like a real star in the making here in P2 currently. We've got Sav who's already qualified, but again, you can, even if you've already qualified, you can still take part every week and earn the cashish, and he is currently in P3, and it's going to be 100 smackaroonies for him to go and spend on whatever he wants. We've then got Rez, who I think he's going to be under some serious investigation after this race. Very poor from that man there. Chonk Taxi, he'll be looked at as well in P5. We've got Max A Power again, already qualified. So those three are already in the final, regional final. Racer 66, of course, already there as well. Made a mistake, unfortunately, a couple of laps ago, which was while he was battling for P4. But then he got the first of the qualifiers here then, is CP Polar. Can he hold on to this position? Currently in P8 with KJ Duff. So KJ Duff actually has moved up into a qualifying position right now. So Zampati, CP Polar, and this is it. We've got a four-way battle on the final lap here, Frank. Yeah, we have Freaky Naughty then trying to get the position here. This is the final lap of the race. Oh, sorry, he's already crossed the line. Operator's already crossed the line. Don't worry about it. He's going to win this race, but there are a couple of corners here to go. And right now, Freak is in P11. He's got to go the long way around here on air codes. And actually, it's KJ Duff then. He is in, well, he's the final qualifying position. Freak cannot get it done right now. They've got a few corners to go here. So I think CP Polar's got this spot. But it's between these three for the next qualifying position. Freak's out of it. He's made the mistake there. It's cost him. And it's now on air codes. And he's made the mistake now as well. So the pressure really telling here. Freak not quite close enough. And, well, can KJ Duff then get around this final corner? Wants to take a bit of time off of him and just focus, but it doesn't matter. It's enough. On to the final straight away here, and he will be our third qualifier in P9. And again, Frank, it's all kicked off here near the end, and it's all the people who haven't already qualified.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, like, it proves, man, I love being proved right. It's like we were talking about. You can come out here and you can qualify potentially on your first race because you can't qualify more than once. So these spots start opening up, and you don't necessarily have to be the best driver to get that qualifying spot and see yourself in that regional final. You just have to come out here and try. And we've seen improvements kind of week after week. Racers keep moving up and up and up. So even if you're not the fastest racer today, give yourself a month and you might be surprised with just how good you can get.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we're seeing people qualify at their first attempt. Zambati qualifying on his first attempt. CP Polar is the second attempt. And KJ Duff on his first attempt. So we're seeing a lot of new faces making names for themselves in sim racing. But our race winner then is Mr. Operator in first, and now we should get the official race standings come up on screen, hopefully eventually. Maybe not, I guess, but the Operator will finish in P1. Zampati will get $150 in P2 and a qualifying ticket to the regional final. Sav already qualified for our regional final. We'll pick up the final bits of money, and that is the $100. Chonk Taxi will finish in P4. Rez has left the session early here. Max A Power in P5. Racer P6, but it's CP Polar and KJ Duff are second and third regional qualifiers from today. And then rounding out our top 10 is F Codes and Freaky Naughty.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some really exciting stuff again, not necessarily out in front where drivers are kind of distancing themselves more and more. That separation is becoming a little bit more evident. But like you mentioned at the top of today's show, those sandwiches, man, that's where all the action is. In between those two pieces of bread, the middle of the pack, where the meat is. And that's what we've seen here in both PS4 and PC. That's where the action has been and where the qualifying spots has been. So great stuff out of all of today's racers, really. And we'd love to see those little battles, and especially those respectful ones. And I mean, we've got 2 more qualifiers. So and then we've got more after that. So there's a ton more sim racing, more e-racing that's going to be happening. And I got to say, I'm getting more and more excited each and every week.
Yeah, Donington is our next track next week, or 2 weeks' time, sorry, and that's one of the very fastest circuits on our calendar. So expect to see some incredible moves around that circuit as well. Some undulation, quite wide circuit, so it's going to be really, really cool. And then Qualifier 8 is at Zhuhai, back in Asia, back in China. Zhuhai is one of my very favorite circuits. A lot of long straights, a lot of hairpins to break for, so plenty of overtaking opportunities. Then our regional final, which they're all trying to qualify for, is of course at Road America. Very, very excited as well, Frank.
Yeah, so good stuff. I think that's probably going to be wrapping it up about for today. Luke, before we kind of go into the closing statements and I mention all the other cool stuff we've got going on, anything you want to throw out there or shout out? Probably mention Twitter again if people have questions, and I'll let you take it away from here.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I implore you to come and give this a go. If you've got PlayStation 4 or you have a PC and a copy of Project Cars 2, then make sure that you get yourself involved in the Logitech G Challenge. Currently on PlayStation 4, the game is 60% off in the store as well. So not only could you get a game very cheap, a very good game, you can also then come and race here and earn that money back straight away. So you've got that opportunity. You don't know how quick you are until you've had a go. So come over, give it a go. Actualvision.com/G Challenge USA. Come and show us how quick you are and see whether you can qualify for our regional final. Any questions, make sure you follow me on Twitter at ActualVision and send me a message in the DMs, or go to Team Beyond on Twitter as well. And I'm sure they will answer your questions. But yeah, we've got 2 more rounds to go. It's flying by here. And this is one of the only sim racing competitions out there where you're actually earning real money.
Yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. It's exciting stuff. It provides for some awesome moments, as you saw here today. But before we close out the show, there's something I want to mention. You got 4 days left for the Beyond August giveaway. We're giving some prizes away here, so head on over to that, like you mentioned, Twitter at Team Beyond Net. But let me tell you what we're giving away here just in the month of August alone. We've got an Astro C40 TR controller, a Logitech G502 Lightspeed mouse, a Logitech G513 mechanical keyboard, a Logitech PowerPlay mousepad, and a ViewSonic XG2701 27-inch monitor. So hit up that Twitter, that's at Team Beyond Net. You can find out how to enter for those prizes there. But guys, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. That's going to do it for today. But be sure to tune in next time. That's going to be Sunday, September 8th. That's going to be our 7th online qualifier. Once again, check out teambeyond.net. That's the website. At teambeyondnet is the Twitter. And of course, actualvision.com/G Challenge USA to find out how to register for these races. But that's going to do it for us today, guys. We'll see you again next time. Peace.